So before you motorboat yourself into a concussion, instead of smelling cheese and tuna, you now smell cherry blossom. Vigorous Steve here. Let's talk about body odor on steroids. Or better yet, how to not smell like your old hiking shoes while you're taking performance-enhancing drugs. And yes, some of the PEDs that we take for bodybuilding can make you smelly too, especially your favorite, Trenbolone. Yes, besides Trenbolone, Superdrol and Halotestin can also make you smelly. But usually we run those for 2 weeks in duration. Not like with Trenbolone, people tend to use those for 6 to 8 weeks or sometimes even longer. So the longer you take your Tren, the more smelly you're going to get. We're going to discuss all of that in this video. Before we do, please like the video, leave a comment for the algorithm, and consider subscribing so you can join the Vigorous crew too. First things first, we need to address our hygiene. Yes, hygiene is one of the root culprits of your body odor when you're taking performance-enhancing drugs. Now, I already discussed hygiene in depth in many of the acne videos, which I released a couple months ago. So I'll link those at the end of this one. And I can't believe I still have to say this. Showering washes away all of the dirt, all of the sweat, the sebum that your sebaceous glands produce, all of its oil that could turn into acne if you're not taking care of your hygiene. Some of the bacteria gets washed away. And while you're at it, scrub. Scrub all of these dead skin cells away, because in these dead skin cells, if you don't take care of that, this is where all of the bacteria are going to grow. Sweat, sebum, and dead skin cells, that's a recipe for acne and also bad body odor. So once in a while, you should scrub. You can do it twice a week, once a week. You don't need to go with all of these fancy scrubbing potions and lotions. You just get an old towel. You wash that at the highest degree your laundry machine can handle. Maybe that's 90 degrees Celsius and whatever amount of Fahrenheit that is, that will be on the screen right now. Wash it at a very high temperature so this old towel can get very, very hard, almost turning into sandpaper. Then you take the sandpaper-like towel into the shower, make it wet, and then you start scrubbing vigorously. Starting with the face, working your way down, you save your privates for last. And the reason why I like a towel over a loofah or one of those sponges on a stick is because you can use the towel and apply a decent amount of pressure on your back by scrubbing this way, just in the same way you would otherwise use the towel to wipe yourself after showering. I prefer that over the sponge on a stick. You just use the towel to apply a decent amount of pressure and scrub your back in an equal fashion you would use on your extremities or your torso. After your shower, you don't have to put any lotions or potions. Again, I don't really believe in lotions or potions. You should be healthy from the inside out. This is how you take care of your skin. I mean, you shouldn't even have to use deodorant to mask the body odor because the body odor isn't there. So, for the love of your own hygiene, shower. Shower upon waking. Shower before going to the gym. Yes, before going to the gym, so you're clean while you're working out, not having any body odor to share with the other gym members. Shower after the workout. Shower before you go to bed. Shower before you have sex and wash up afterwards. I didn't think that was a thing, but coming here to Thailand, all the girls shower before you have sex with them, and that's a very warm welcome. So before you motorboat yourself into a concussion, instead of smelling cheese and tuna, you now smell cherry blossom. Cleanliness is godliness. And besides the showering, you should once in a while, especially your gym clothes, wash those at a very high temperature. Because just because you're washing all of the bacteria away doesn't mean that the bacteria are not going to be in your clothes. And when you're sweating a lot at the gym, a lot of these bacteria are just going to transfer into your clothes. So you need to pasteurize your clothes by washing them at a much higher temperature than the general 30 or 40 degrees Celsius, whatever it is in Fahrenheit. It will be on the screen yet again. You need to wash them at a higher temperature once in a while to kill off all of the bacteria. And whether that's at 60 degrees, 70 degrees, or 90 degrees, depending if your gym clothes can handle that temperature, yes, your gym clothes are going to shrink, but it's still better than having horrible body odor when you're going to the gym. And you should do this for your underwear. You should do this for most of the clothes that you're sweating in. Kill all of the bacteria by washing your clothes at the highest possible temperature that they're rated for. It will say it right there in the label. Have a look at the label. Don't let your mom or your girlfriend or your wife do all of your laundry for you. Do it by yourself at least once in a while to kill off the bacteria. So that brings us to the next step, killing the bacteria on your skin. If the scrubbing and the showering and the high temperature washing isn't enough, just like with acne, you can kill all of the bacteria on your skin with a 2-week course of doxycycline. Not what the doctors are prescribing, 3 months, 6 months. I mean, I've heard horror stories of doctors prescribing doxycycline for a year. That's insanity. 2 weeks is all you need to kill off all of the bacteria on your skin. 100 milligrams doxycycline in the morning, and again, 100 milligrams in the evening. I do this once per year just as a preventative measure so I can take off my acne and potential for body odor, which for me is pretty much completely resolved, unless I really go a little bit ham on particular food choices, which we'll discuss a little bit later. 2 weeks doxycycline is more than enough to kill off the bacteria, and then you just have to maintain your hygiene and a low bacteria environment by showering and washing your clothes at a higher temperature. That brings us to the food. There are many different foods out there which can worsen your body odor. So even if you're on top of your hygiene 100%, whatever you eat can still come out of your pores while you're sweating. So that means you have to avoid anything that's related to the FODMAP foods. All of the foods that can make you fart are also the foods that are going to make your sweat smell horribly. And the worst offenders are going to be garlic, onion, which is nowadays in all of the condiments. So forget about ketchup, forget about barbecue sauce, forget about hot sauce. Garlic and onion is in everything nowadays, including some of the dry spices. So again, if you want to keep your body odor under control, avoid those at all costs. And that means what I can notice is that if I have a royal serving of ketchup over the weekend on Sunday, Monday, the next day, my sweat is not as pleasant as it should be. So I really limit the ketchup to once per week only because, well, most of the ketchup formulas contain a little bit of garlic and sometimes vinegar, which can also exacerbate the body odor. Broccoli, milk, other dairy products. Man, the list is long, so you really have to do a little bit of an elimination diet to figure out which of the food sources are worsening or contributing to your body odor. And the reason why I'm making this video is because for the last couple of months, I really had my body odor under control until I reintroduced the beef on a daily basis. 200 grams, 7 ounces of beef every single day of the week. Previously, I ate beef maybe once per week. So Monday, I would have slight body odor issues, which would go away after a good day of showering and sweating at the gym. And now that I'm eating beef every single day, my body odor is a little bit more pungent, a little bit more musky. And I remember that from doing the carnivore diet experiment for a whole month where I did not have any spices, no garlic, no onions, no vegetables of any kind, only beef and meat and other animal-based food sources, a true carnivore diet, and I smelled musky as fuck. So this is something that I noticed over the last month or so after reintroducing beef to my diet. I cycle through different kinds of beef and I get the same result. So I can't say that it's purely due to Thai ground beef or fresh New Zealand steak. I still get a little bit of body odor. So I'm trying to address that going forward. But still, I think it's just purely related to the beef and how I'm metabolizing it. Even though I might be due for another cycle of doxycycline, or maybe need to shower even more than I already am, or need to scrub a little bit harder, I'm assuming that the body odor is still going to maintain. So in this case, I would need to use deodorant to mask that, or I could go back to a pescatarian diet and remove the beef from my diet. So you really have to pinpoint what food source is actually causing the body odor. Again, ultimately, the body odor is being produced internally in the sweat glands, and maybe that it gets exacerbated with some of the bacteria that are present on your skin, or you're wearing the same clothes day in, day out, and you're not washing them at a higher temperature. All of that compounds, but still, the fundamentals are there that the body odor is being produced with some of the food sources that you're eating. And even food preparation or preservation can contribute to that. For example, canned tuna gives me horrible body odor, but fresh tuna, which I eat maybe twice per week, doesn't give me any body odor. So keep that in mind. You really have to be on top of your nutrition to really pinpoint and see what is contributing to this horrible, horrible smell that is following you around. And then it seems from my personal and anecdotal experience and that of my clients and most of the bodybuilders that I talk to, basically all of the PEDs that can get you results in a hurry can also worsen your body odor. Even if you're doing everything right, Trenbolone can worsen your body odor. You follow a pescatarian diet, you add a little bit of Trenbolone into your PED cocktail, and you start to get slightly or horribly smelly. Same thing goes for halotestin or Superdrol, but again, limited exposure duration prevents you from getting terribly smelly. Something like thyroid, for example, T3, can also worsen your body odor. It seems to increase the rate at which your body is producing these smells. And again, if you're avoiding some of the FODMAP foods and you're on top of your hygiene, thyroid medication might not worsen your body odor, but I see this with competitive bodybuilders more often than not. The more of the drugs they're taking to speed up metabolism and speed up fat loss while keeping them anabolic as fuck are also worsening their body odor. Now, maybe they get a little bit complacent with the hygiene and get a little bit complacent with the spices that you're using, which is very, very common while you're dieting. I mean, all the foods get spiced heavily, or they eat a mountain of broccoli on top to stay satiated. Right? These are all things that are contributing to body odor. It's just something that I've noticed after coaching competitive bodybuilders for many, many years. And also when you're in a slightly catabolic state, this smell of ammonia starts to permeate into your training clothes. So if you're on thyroid medication and you're eating canned tuna, man, that smell is horrible. And if you really want to smell like a bed of cherry blossoms or rose petals for the majority of the day, that means you're going to be showering a lot, scrubbing occasionally, washing your clothes at a very high temperature, even though that's probably the worst thing you can do for your clothes. And it also means you're going to be eating very, very bland. Salt, pepper, maybe paprika, all of the cuisines and the kitchens which spice their food heavily, all the cuisines which are tasty as fuck, the Indian food, the Arabic food, the Mexican food. And I really hate to single out these cuisines just because I love eating them. The next day, or maybe even for a couple days afterwards, I don't smell so good. So whenever I eat Mexican or Indian or Arabic foods, the next day, my body odor is kind of pungent. And if you eat this every single day or multiple times per week, it's very difficult to really improve your body odor simply because these cuisines are very heavy on the spices. So keep that in mind. You might have to go very bland on your diet for a couple weeks to really get your body odor under control. And once it is under control, you can slowly reintroduce particular food sources which complement your goals, like beef, for example. If you get some body odor due to the beef, like I do, that's a sacrifice you're going to have to make. But some of the spices that you use, you might have to forego entirely to keep your body odor under control for the duration that you're on performance-enhancing drugs, which can worsen your body odor. So again, take it step by step. Once you have it under control, it's up to you to keep it under control so you can smell nice and fresh for yourself, feel clean for the majority of the day, and make people around you appreciate you for going the extra mile. And I'll leave it here. Vigorous crew, you guys know what to do. A front double bicep for you guys. You can see me, you can hear me, but luckily for you, you can't smell me. Honestly, it's not that bad, but still it's worse than before. I'm still going to take the anabolic gains from the beef that I'm eating on a daily basis because I do feel a lot rounder and fuller than without the beef in my diet. All of my affiliates, all of my sponsors, you can find down below in the YouTube description section. Gorilla Mind, Intelligent Elephant, Merrick Health, Jim Pin, iHerb. I even have a Amazon affiliate and a shop. You can find it down below in the YouTube description section. I have a lot more affiliates and discount codes on my website, vigoroussteve.com. Check out some of the free articles. There's a ton of additional information there, so bookmark the site while you're at it. If you're interested in personalized advice, you can find the rates for consultations on my website as well. I have ebooks for sale. You can contact me directly through the contact form if you need to know something particular. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.